born. Face can't help but wonder, in front of the man's inner strength. They were from the beginning. They misunderstand each other's true strengths. That's what the sword of destruction looks like. It's not just at attack distance. It's a big arc. It's like cutting off this sacred place. That makes the middle butt. I can't help but praise the opponent's talent. The sword is too strong. It's very different from the sword, as rumored. Look into his piercing eyes. The guy is easily recognizable. It seems he was determined to die. To live with me here. Even though the situation is so difficult, but the Middle East is not easy to give up. Hold this sword. Feet stomping on the ground without exaggeration. The dead are surprised by that. There's no way that kid could be nowhere. Pedal on my air sword Sao. That, to even the most advanced players on the Gypsy Lake. It hasn't been done yet. I have never dared to try it either. He hated the old man. Then he screamed out a voice that seemed to have been knocked out. But not the middle buttocks worried realize. The air, he's changed. The pressure has increased. The sword is more and more powerful. While the middle buttocks still surprise, in front of his sudden power, he took advantage of the launch. He did not hesitate to drop the sword on the boy's head. A finishing blow. I just realized that this is. The sword now reached the boy's head. Spoiling death shout out. How many stones have died? The magic is fluttered. It's a very chaotic scene. Chew butt, bite tight teeth doomed. Unconscious blood from the mouth that shoots out. How much internal power has been lost? Familiar feet plugged firmly on the ground. Talented guy. He was able to stop that sword. Spoilage with sweat-soaked face Sao can. The barren land behind. It seems to have been wiped out by his inner power. But the buttocks are still standing there. This is unbelievable. He can stop my martial arts. Middle buttocks fell to the ground. The sword itself is firmly held up. The man with a soft voice. You really did get into town before. I didn't believe it, but when I met you today, I believed it. You are so young. We can't predict. Your current state is already. The middle buttocks continue to welcome the voice of challenge. When you die, you talk too much. Let your strength hold my sword. After you say that, let us throw out his sword. Always mouth talking. It's here today. There will be one. To get to the place of mixed knitting. He jumped back and escaped. To prepare for the next battle, in the face of the young. The bad guy doesn't seem to want to get to the end. His eyes became soft. I can see the determination of the center. He himself could not continue to torture. Even if the victory is on your side. He called out to the boy. I really admire you. You must be surprised if I say this. With a boy as powerful as you, it's a shame to die here. If you agree, I will be able to forgive death. Make yourself a disciple of the Lord. Later, you will be more developed in the paint. Listen to him say that. The middle buttocks don't believe in my ears and ask again. He stood in front of me and said sincerely, You are a talented boy. I've never met anyone as talented as you. If taught in the right place, then you can later say that it will reverberate throughout the martial arts. Come back and be my disciple in the field. Under my protection, rest assured. Your training resources are not lacking. More than that, I will let you do it. The first disciple in Vo is. And this is the second guy's ass. Yuan breathed hard and tried to climb tirelessly. When I saw that, White returned and said, the situation is like this. The wind will come before them. To see the cliffs as high as this, he can't climb. Because now I've exhausted myself. I can't go on Leo. Because of the yogal condition. So his master took the Ming. Being alone there. I want to see my brother die there. That word seemed to touch him. White looked at you for a moment. And then quickly jump up and down, leaving the gold beard behind. At this time, Chung Cotton is, it feels so damn. Because I feel like I'm dying. So the person next to you tries to get up and climb fast. Come on. A man stomped near the cliff. Then he launched out the iron swords. But those swords are about to fly near the cliffs. It was stopped by someone. It's the damage that stops the sword because for him, even if it's a god, it's just wrought iron. It was abandoned in a cave with high humidity like this for the last 200 years. But I can't say the words as if I'm right. Then, suddenly, there was a sword passing by. It made his face scratch and bleed. By the sword before. It's a sword with no spirit. Is plugged into the current ground. It's amazing to him. I don't know where it came from. See the text on the handle. He quickly realized that it was the sword. And then I realized that something was coming. So he came back quickly. But still a step behind. The mystic Kier had run over him. The mystic's blow struck him in the face. It's got you kicked out. It's so far away. It's coming out of the cliff and falling down. He quickly used his feet to hold it. No more splashing, and ask that wily bastard what he wants to do now. Soon after, he was thrown away. He also used his feet to help. Now he's near the edge. Are looking around. I saw the rusted swords. And that's exactly what they want. This is what he left for everyone. The competition. To be able to get here, how many of their disciples they had to sacrifice. Along with how many dangers, in the face of deadly pitfalls. Your poison, show up now just to see this pile of scrap swords. The elixir, are you kidding us? It's really what comes after. After that, you can't believe everything is true. But not Sao, we're here for another purpose. It's a real tiger. Looks like it's already there. We need to get there right away. I'm going to go there. Death was stopped by a man. He understood that. This kid is exactly like his goal. He gripped the sword. He laughed and felt that way. But look at these blunt swords. Do you want to bring back your current Shovo as a treasure? Just pick it up and bring it back. I heard that, and I quickly came out. And I don't want to mess with a kid like you. See that? He laughed and began to take his sword seriously. The two of them quickly converged. When he was about to throw his sword close to him, the dead man was amazed to realize that it was tomorrow. My Hoa Swordsmanship, SAO. It looks like paint. You have people to bring out all the true power. Tomorrow's the French sword. The old man looked good, so he said. Painted before 7. That's because there is no AI to bring out the essence of my Hoa swordsmanship. Immediately after Chung Myung used 7 apricot swords and rushed to the point of death. After that, use the apricot. Multiple arms at the same time quickly pierced towards death. This trick is extremely colorful. All around this trick are beautiful flowers. Beautiful. Just as you're about to use your last blow on him. I realized so much that I opened my eyes. The sword of the middle butt, even though it touched him. But it didn't matter to him. Suddenly he said, "In that cause, it is the beginning of everything. Everything comes and goes and goes. When the pole reaches the extreme, it will degenerate and vice versa." He quickly pulled the sword out of him and quickly back away. Since the dawn of time, the earth is the only source, creating this world. Then the world divided everything in two. It's called yin and yang. The ocean was like fire and preserved everything. The starting point of everything is called yang. It will be called sound after the end. Mat solar Tai pole. He used the Tai Kai sword. Looking at this trick also makes the middle but shiver. Because this is the most powerful technique of martial arts. It has made Vo famous in the world. Stand in line 5, 9 major sects. That's right, this old man uses this sword too powerfully. It's different than before. Strong but gentle. It seems that his power has reached the point. Reserve religion. Swordplay graceful yin-yang harmony, 0-1 little gap. But he found it impossible. This kid is a dragon. But only at that age that he has made the flower bloom tomorrow. If you can't convince him he's a fighter, there's only one way. It's about eliminating this threat here. In this tomb, no matter what we do, no one can know. I saw him move, but the middle butt is still calm. He saw this as a consequence. You wanted to fight me, kid? And then you move. Pick up the apricot sword. Pointed straight at him. Because now you don't need to take the hit. I can use all my strength to defeat you. All things are interdependent. Hoa-san in the past was always in the world with martial arts. Not simply by tomorrow Hoa looking for the trick, but the fineness is less than Vo is. Tai Kai sword. It's the sword. Martial arts, with the softness and grace that comes with the extremes of things, is the essence of the sword flower painting, soft as well as strong. But now it's my time. People who have a lot of experience to practice until the end of tomorrow. That's all this interdependence is about. Water can put out the fire, but that doesn't mean fire can evaporate water. All interdependent living beings are also relative. When fighting, it depends on the strength of the swordsman. There is always religion in the extreme. In the flowers of tomorrow, it also has its own religions. They're all religious. Morning in the early wind, there are also things that others can't predict. It's smooth and graceful movement. Now, swordsman Hoa-san. It's not just the same old sword tomorrow. But under my hands, it is a sword. Has been refined and promoted to a higher level. Newly completed, 0-1 open. You provoke him to come here. This is not 7 swords. It's more than a level. Middle buttocks reach out and grab the sword. The male gods once tried to steal, but you can't steal the real part of it. Then he took the sword and flew up. Your face behind the air. 24 hours tomorrow, Hoa swordsmanship. You focus, put your power on the falling sword. Your speed is as fast as the wind. It's hard to keep up. Every place that the middle butt goes is like a wind chariot. Then you go to the person below and cut it down. I can see it and panic. He also raised his sword. The force that the middle buttocks slashed down. The center of the buttocks is still focused on the sword. Move towards the goal with determination. Then you use the split flower technique. He looked up in fear. The sword is broken. How can that sword? It's not time to give him time to rest. The middle buttocks keep coming. He pushed his sword forward, shouting, "Or." The sword touches the death scatter. It scared him to the point of rolling his eyes. The middle buttocks kept swirling down the sword, closer and stronger. Maybe I know I won't be able to resist. He's just wondering what the hell is going on. The land nearby was slashed by the sword. Make it pop up. He started to focus a light on his left hand. He wants to use it to attack you. Or he pushes the Kier light to prop up the mid buttocks. A loud explosion. The light from the two sides illuminates the whole area. White sky is climbing on the cliff. I can't help but be surprised to see the scene. Kier, Shou, and Chun Cotton were terrified. The rocks are everywhere. The broken canopy was thrown into the deep ground and squashed a lump. He hugged his injured shoulder. Don't dare to wonder. He pierced my sword. And then he tried to get up. Jang Bun squinted his eyes at him. He sits on the ground, with all the injuries. The clothes have fallen to pieces. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't get up right away. My ass doesn't look too good over there. Spitting out an old and powerful snippet of blood. You seem to be struggling too. Spoiler, amazing fire SAO. I met that boy. Not the oldest student. I'm not a second-generation student, but that kid's name. He said he was looking at the middle. If I don't think about it, the loser is still me. And then he had a sense of respect. He tried to stand up. My feeling right now is not anger. It's not fear. It's about respecting SAO. Seeing the determination from inside the eyes of the middle butt. Aesthetic damage. The irrepressible respect that's bursting within us. Then the scabbard clenched the hilt of your sword. Then he raised his sword. Let's end this. Zhang Hua smiled and raised his sword to reply. As he wishes. Immediately, a green wind rises. Brother, a man landed from above. I hear the sound of death. Turn around and look. The Chinese also watched. They both forgot one thing. This place is not a martial arts arena. There are only two people. It's not a tough fight. Own two people. And then the Kier man landed. Master Vo is sending nowhere to land. Into bowed glasses. You are here, brother. He did not respond to the yell of the Lord's prayer. Get that jaw. Hurry up, and nothing flies past grab the jaw. Middle buttocks amazingly watched Theo. And then he screamed, wait a minute. You can't stand up and try to stop it. He seemed exhausted. He stopped breathing out a few breaths. Damage, Scanty. I don't want to give you a chance to get the upper hand. He is about to attack. It's over, kid. Middle buttocks cry. Up in vain. No drill has not been. It's not over yet. There's nowhere to go to where the box is. He raised his eyebrows and asked what it was. This is the knitting mix. He called out to nowhere to take me. He was ordered to grab the box. Then nowhere points the sword towards the middle of the buttocks. You're a little fucking helpless. There's a broken Kier staring at the box. Lake Yuan knit, or how to make raw, whatever it is. He looked anxiously at the box. In my heart, that's what I want. Then he held out his hand. He was looking forward to it. After so many hard days, we finally. A shining jewel appears. Chu As frowned silently, scold, damn. That stupid old man is. The blind man looked in the box, motionless without words. A second later, he squeezed out 2 words at Sao. There is something unusual about the Sao right on the side of the damage. Don't look back to see your brother. But then, he was just as bad. I looked at the box in surprise. Inside is empty. There's nothing like this at Sao. The pervert persisted in shaking the box, frantically screaming. There's definitely something secret in here. Where is that secret? The result is, of course, nothing. Look inside the empty box. It's a perfect joke. Out from there. Then there are no words left to describe the situation. And then he got angry and shouted the elixir. The box was immediately broken. He screamed at the son of a bitch. How hard did we have to work to get here? The jawbone inside the pile of God's soldiers was rusted. Finally, what does this thing called the sword strain exist for? Damage to the death cannot be clenched here at the back of the hand with blue veins. After all, for something. I can't stand it. Furiously scolded Ass. These old horse noses are stupid as cows. You've been through so much. Just got here. And you're touching that thing. Is it because your mind is stupid, or keep your eyes on it for fun? Or both? You're so pissed off and yelling. You're blinded by ambition. That's why I made these games. Now we're standing here yelling at it, am I right? That's what the midsection feels. Throughout the process of entering the race. It's been the same since we walked in here. Basic. These are the traps used to kill countless people. From causing the cave to collapse and crush the dead, to the placement of bloodsuckers. There's even a diamond. At SAO Pharmacy again at home this place. What are you doing? You're very curious to test SAO. There's no such thing. Experiments only make sense when 7 people fail. But still alive. There's no such thing as an experiment. It's different from the pharmaceutical name. This place, even a little of his goodness couldn't be found. This whole place is filled with his malice. Then you look around again. Then the Kier jaw in the Kier jaw has no SAO trap. There's no such thing. Chubby as loud. Do you know? If you touch that jaw. So what's going to happen? Oh, this horse's nose. You're angry. Oh my God, I'm so angry. If you have a head, use it to think. Leo came here for a while without understanding. I only hear Chinese scold. If there's nothing in that jaw. What's going to happen next? White Sky thought to himself, the buttocks are scolding the elders of Vo, our SAO. Now nothing speaks. If it's not jaw. He looked over to the Kier side doubtfully, or asked the rock SAO. Then nothing. Give it to you. Suddenly, I don't know where it came from. The buttocks looked up in surprise. Kier Vo is starting to look for Kier painters again. It's over. White Heaven hates to scold these false preachers. His face is full of color. Suddenly, a line crosses. I was surprised to see Theo. Everyone was amazed to see it. He's just been here a while. I don't understand anything for a while. Lightning is like trying to split a rock in half. They are standing. People look up where it started to light up. A beam of light from above shined down on them. Auntie looked at what was going on with her eyes wide open. The cave cracked again. The Middle East continues to speak. The stupidest horses in the world. And then you say, don't worry, you're the middle ass. Even if the sky falls, there will be a hole. But before I could finish, I stopped because I saw something. A second later, he turned to the white angel. Then you're afraid to laugh unless there's no hole. The ground began to shake violently. Everyone was amazed at what to do. The white sky lost control and screamed, oh damn. Middle ass, do something. I heard my teacher say that. The middle buttocks also replied, are you a ghost? What can I do? But he said, well, try something though. There is no real way to see nature. The middle buttocks call out loud. People in this world will have to die. Then you say that again, so don't. Suddenly, the Kier kids started talking about human life. White Sky is mad. This crazy dog. On the other side of the Kier, order Cho-Vo to slash them. The disciples of Vo are. Use all your power to break those things. Ordered the whole group to fight. The first name to come out of heaven. Led by the second name also responded according to Dubious. 4 statues. Everything is getting messy. And finally, 8. This is the extreme sword. Zhang Cotton squinted his eyes at the extreme sword battle. It's not enough. Those guys are crazy. The swords. To cut those things. Nothing in this world is impossible anymore. My buttocks closed their eyes and forced me to think about how to brainstorm. Saw the sky fall. Flying up into the sky is a stupid thing to do. This place is the sword. All the things here. It's all operated at the whim of the pharmacy. Pharmacy Sean really want to kill everyone who comes into this place, Sao. No, there will be a way. Think about going somewhere unexpected. An unusual place. After walking through the entrance, I fell into the deep basement. Then, we've got to go down narrow and narrow roads. And through so many sufferings. All those roads lead to this place. And this place keeps crawling and crawling. He finally saw a bright light. But the elixir shattered some of his hopes. I try to think if it's medicine. If it's medicine. Suddenly you open your eyes. It's like you've realized something. The middle ass just thought Ra said right there. When he spoke loudly at the bottom of the white sky, he was surprised. He looked through the middle of his ass. Then middle butt said right now. Everybody jumped down. The cave is about to collapse. Middle ass loud call everyone. Everybody jump down. Hurry up. In the ground, where they're standing, is gradually shaking harder. All the people in the village listen to you. And jump down at the same time. I was surprised to see why you think so.